This isn't a new weapon, it's not a classified system, and it's definitely not some experimental technology. What the United States has revealed near Iran is something far more important. It's the scale, coordination, and readiness of a modern naval force operating in one of the most sensitive regions in the world. And once you understand how this system actually works, the situation starts to look very different. Over the past few weeks, something unusual has been happening across the Middle East. At first, it looked routine. A warship moving through international waters, a carrier group adjusting position. Standard activity. Nothing that would normally raise attention. But then more ships started arriving. Additional destroyers, support vessels, amphibious units. And that's when it became clear. This wasn't routine anymore. This was a buildup. At the center of this presence are aircraft carriers like the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower and the USS Gerald R. Ford. These ships are often described as floating airbases, but that description barely scratches the surface. Each carrier can operate more than 60 aircraft, including F/A-18 Super Hornets and advanced stealth fighters like the F-35. From a single deck, these aircraft can launch missions within minutes, covering large distances in a very short time. But what makes this capability even more powerful is how it operates continuously. While some aircraft are launching, others are already returning, refueling, or preparing for the next mission. This creates a constant cycle of operations. It means there is almost always aircraft in the air, monitoring activity, collecting data, or ready to respond instantly. And a carrier never operates alone. Surrounding it is a carrier strike group. This includes guided missile destroyers equipped with advanced radar and defense systems capable of tracking threats from long distances. These ships are designed to detect incoming missiles, aircraft, and fast-moving targets. At the same time, they carry their own long-range weapons, allowing them to engage threats well before they get close to the carrier. This creates a layered defense system, multiple lines of protection working together, while also maintaining offensive capability. Now add another layer. Amphibious assault ships like the USS Boxer are also part of this deployment. These vessels serve a completely different role. Instead of focusing on air dominance, they are designed to project power directly onto land. Inside these ships are United States Marines, typically organized into a Marine Expeditionary Unit. This is a rapid response force made up of around 2,000 to 2,500 personnel. These units are trained for high-intensity scenarios, including evacuations, crisis response, and combat operations if required. And here's what makes them unique. They don't need a base. From these ships, Marines can launch helicopters, deploy landing craft, and move toward land directly from the sea. Aircraft like the F-35B Lightning II can take off vertically, meaning operations can begin without traditional runways. Everything they need is already on board. So now think about what this actually creates. You have aircraft carriers controlling the air, destroyers controlling the surrounding waters, and Marines ready to move from sea to land at any moment. All of it connected, all of it coordinated. This is not a single force. It's a system. And right now, that system is positioned near one of the most critical locations in the world. The Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway connects the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. A large percentage of the world's oil supply passes through this route every day. That means any disruption here doesn't just affect one country. It affects global markets, fuel prices, and economic stability worldwide. And this is where Iran becomes central to the situation. Iran borders this region and has significant influence over activity in and around the strait. Over the years, there have been multiple incidents involving naval vessels, commercial ships, and patrol units. These situations don't always escalate, but they create a constant level of tension. So when the United States increases its naval presence here, it's not random. It's strategic positioning. Because in modern military operations, location matters just as much as capability. From this position, carrier-based aircraft can monitor large areas. Naval ships can track movement across critical shipping lanes, and Marines remain ready to respond if something changes on the ground. But there is another factor that makes this even more important. Speed. In modern warfare, response time is critical. The ability to act within minutes instead of hours can completely change the outcome of a situation. By placing forces closer to potential hotspots, the United States reduces the delay between decision and action. Fighter jets can launch almost immediately. Ships are already within operational range. Marines are already in position. That level of readiness creates pressure. Not through direct conflict, but through the ability to respond at any moment. Now let's take a closer look at how these operations actually play out. When a carrier launches aircraft, it's not just a single jet taking off. It's part of a coordinated mission. Multiple aircraft may launch together, each with a specific role. Some conduct surveillance, gathering real-time intelligence. Others provide air cover. And some are equipped for strike missions if necessary. At the same time, support aircraft handle communication, coordination, and electronic monitoring. This allows the entire operation to function as a connected system rather than individual actions. And all of this happens within a very short time frame. That's what makes carrier-based operations so effective. They combine speed, flexibility, and coordination into a single platform. Now combine that with naval forces operating below the surface. Although not always visible, submarines are often part of these deployments. They operate silently, gathering intelligence and maintaining a strategic presence without being easily detected. This adds another layer to the system. So now you have air, surface, and subsurface capabilities all working together. For any country observing this, including Iran, it creates a complex challenge. Because the threat is not coming from one direction. It's multidimensional. Air power from above, naval power at sea, an unseen presence below the surface. Each layer supports the other, making the overall system difficult to predict and even harder to counter. But at the same time, it's important to keep this in perspective. This type of deployment does not automatically mean conflict is about to happen. In many cases, it serves as a deterrent. A way to prevent escalation by showing capability and readiness without taking direct action. It sends a message that the ability to respond is already in place, and that response can happen quickly if required. This reflects a broader shift in how military power is used today. Instead of relying on fixed bases, modern forces focus on mobility. Ships move. Aircraft operate from the sea. Troops remain offshore. This reduces vulnerability while increasing flexibility. It also allows continuous presence without committing to a single location. And in regions like this, where conditions can change quickly, that flexibility is critical. Because the side that is prepared first often has the advantage. Right now, the United States Navy is positioned in a way that allows it to observe, respond, and influence events across the region. Not through constant action, but through constant readiness. And that readiness is what defines the situation. Not a single headline, not a single event, but a system already in place, already active, and already capable of responding at any moment. And that is what makes this moment important. Because what's being shown here is not just a deployment. It's how modern military power actually operates in real-world conditions. And this is only one part of a much larger picture.